Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my weekly review of Black Sails on Starz. This week we've seen Season 4, Episode 4, and I want to apologize for the lateness of this review. It's Wednesday, the episode aired on Sunday, but I've been a bit distracted lately. New dog, trying to get used to that around the house and everything, and her running around is a little bit different now. And then as well as just watching other shows, like Orange is the New Black, Good Behavior, other weekly things. So I've been a bit busy lately, but I still wanted to try and get this video out. I did promise to review every episode of the last season of Black Sails, and I am going to try to stick to that. And I felt bad making it a little bit later like this because my Black Sails videos have actually been doing pretty well for my standards anyway. But yeah, overall, I thought this was a pretty good episode. Of course, it was sort of different compared to what we got last week without having to teach and such. But we sort of see the aftermath of that, especially with Rackham and Bonnie. And probably the best scene came from Bonnie, her sort of stand and eventual plan to make a break for it, really. And in the shift, they basically have this huge guy, like one by one, just beating each and every one of the captives down. Rackham is looked to as the captain since Teach is dead, and he's forced to keep naming some of his men, or else Bonnie will just be pulled up, and he doesn't want that. We'll talk more about that in a few minutes, but also, of course, we had Flint and Silver again continuing to make plans, leave, and end up talking to Billy and such, who hasn't been totally trying to ignore them, but he's also been fighting off some things in his area as well. But at the same time, there's still definitely some dissension between Flint and Billy. Of course, it's still a bit of a tense situation with them. And I do think one of them is probably going to give, by the end of the season. But in this one, we also see some seeds planted for conflict between Silver and Flint, because in a conversation Billy has with Silver, Silver obviously gets sort of. I don't know if I want to say him manipulated, because Silver is kind of too smart just to be, just turn the other way by what someone else says. But what Billy says to Silver is, kind of true. He uses Maddie sort of as a way to get into his head. Alright, excuse me for a second, guys.
Another one is. That's all you're getting. All gone. Sorry. Now I gotta know.
Really apologize for that, guys. I know that was a bit of a delay, but maybe I'll put a comment in the below the video to a part you can skip through that. But just got my new dog to shake and sit, so that's pretty awesome. But anyway, of course, Billy uses Maddie, her life and her purpose, that he's found with her, as a way to get into his head to sort of start looking at Flint the other way again. Because Flint, he is really set on his goal one way or the other. He wants to accomplish, protecting Nassau and beating England to the highest degree he can. And, yes, he does care about Silver. He definitely respects Maddie, quite a bit by now, I think. but at the same time he's still in it to further his agenda and Hamilton's original vision, which I think is understandable for anyone coming from such a place. And I don't think Silver's ever really completely blamed Flint for that. I think they've always had a bond and understanding since with their time in season 3 last year. But of course, Billy says Maddie will eventually be consumed by all Flint's plans, going forward, and eventually result in her demise. And Silver doesn't want to have it in his head, but he can't help but worry about it because he cares so much about Maddie. And so I thought that was all pretty good. I do think Flint and Silver are going to be on sort of opposite sides, or maybe not completely, but they're going to sort of be a little more pitted against each other to a certain degree by the end of the season. It's going to be hard to see, though, because they do have a really good connection now. I've liked their understanding and sort of alliance and friendship, even. And what a lot of people were talking about in this was Flint's decision at the end of the episode. And I hadn't watched the episode yet, so I was worried, okay, did the writers just, make Flint look like a dumbass? So I was kind of worried. But I can see why people would be pissed about what Flint decided with his visit with Eleanor at the end. And Flint, he's probably the greatest mind on the entire show, maybe along with Silver now. Silver's really coming to his own as well, but as far as tactics, strategy, things like that, as well as like mental stuff, Flint is just brilliant overall. And what he did here, I didn't think was completely just far-fetched or, just, idiotic or anything. Of course, I sort of cringe at him, like, agreeing to anything with Eleanor. There's definitely a chance for, something like that to give, for sure. It was tense whenever they would look at each other, though. I like how that was shot. But, with Flint, agreeing, with the deal with her, with the gold and, of course, Nassau and such, I sort of see why Flint would, because it's a way that he can sort of go about doing what he's doing, but again, it's sort of a case of him seeing things more, I don't want to say tunnel vision, but more to his own idea, like I said, him and Hamilton's. And I can see why Silver would be, pissed about that and frustrated, because that's sort of almost giving an example of what Billy was saying earlier again. But I don't completely blame Flint for doing what he did, but at the same time, I want Eleanor to die. Eleanor or Max, or both of them, just need to die by the end of the season, please. But I don't completely blame Flint, but I can see why fans would be a little upset about the way he went about it here. But I do think Flint has something up his sleeve. He's pretty much a fucking genius, I'll just say it. And he tells Silver to trust him, so I think he's going to try and pull something else off at the same time, but we'll see. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that. And then I did say I like the Bonnie stuff in this episode as well, when they're being held captive. Eventually Bonnie has this plan, to, for Rackham not to say anything more, so she would be brought up to fight the big guy next. And she keeps on staring at this shard of glass, these shards of glass, I should say. She gets knocked around quite a bit. It was kind of brutal to see her get hit in the ribs with this big hammer and such. It was definitely brutal. But she ends up using these shards of glass to stab the big guy, and it causes this whole moment for Rackham and the others to, fight off the other guards, as that's going on. And she manages to almost put down the big guy, but one of her other men, comes up and is able to hold him down, and then they finally kill him. So I like that. And I like that the fight with Bonnie and the guy wasn't, totally unrealistic. She didn't, all of a sudden be able to destroy him, or overpower him or anything. It was done in a realistic way, and Bonnie had a lot of intelligence and cleverness there for sure, but also a lot of bravery to endure all that as a way to set up, their escape. So overall, I really liked this episode. I gave last week's episode an 8.7. I'm not sure what episode I would like better, because in a way, the whole Teach thing was really well acted and such, but at the same time, it was frustrating. And I liked a lot of the character moments in this episode as well. We even have Israeli Hands, talking to Flint about how Silver may eventually find someone else that he needs or wants more than him. Sort of like what Teach ended up finding with Vane over Hands. So I think the character dynamics are a little bit more interesting in this one. The focus is on that a little bit more this time. So I give this one about the same, an 8.7, maybe an 8.8 out of 10. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, like, subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time. The 100 review will be coming late tonight, and yeah, peace.